Hello dear friends, myself Professor Khodde Rishikesh and you are watching BSc Botany Studies Classes channel. Here in this lecture video we will be discussing about the continuation of your syllabus which I have presented on the screen, which includes we have studied about the 5 chapters. Now today we are going to discuss about the 6th chapter, that is the structure of plant cell. These 5 chapters are available on our YouTube channel. You can access all these videos. Today we are going to discuss about the plant cell, which includes the definition or introduction of the cell, comparison between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell, and the plant cell structure in a detail. So without wasting further time, let's get started with the introduction or definition of the plant cell. Okay, so the terminology of the cell is proposed by the scientist in year 1665. Why I am mentioning the year? Because this is the 2021. Many time or tremendous time has been passed between this period. So many advancement in the definition of the cell has been created. At that time, initially, the cell was defined as the compartment or the room where the function are taking place. Means cell is one compartment or a room inside the organism where important reactions are taking place. At that time people have said that the person known as Robert Hooke proposed the term of cell. Cell means compartment or a room. But later the people studied about the cell and they have given the definition of the cell, that is they have defined that cell is unit of an organism, or you can say the cell is the unit of a life. Cell are generally includes various different types of enzymes, various different types of chemicals in which various different types of metabolic reactions are taking place. These cells are very interesting to study for research area as well as for competitive exam point of view. Many questions can be designed on the topic of the cell. So I will advise you to please pay attention on this lecture, because many new things you will come to know after watching this lecture. So during this lecture many interesting point I am going to tell you. So watch this lecture up till the end. So definition is unit of an organism. Various different biochemical reactions are taking place inside the cell. These cells can be studied under the particular tool only. Initially, during 1665, the compound microscope were used by the people to study about these cells. Still today we are using this compound microscope. I have presented the photograph from which you must have understood what I am trying to tell you. This compound microscope consists different glasses by which you can magnify the image of the cell up to the 10x or 40x. The picture are representing on the screen are the microscopic images. But this is 2021. In between this period, many different microscopes are invented by the people by using the same principle of magnification. Today we are using the UV microscope, which we can use to see the cell up to the inside, up to their DNA or chromosome level also. So these UV type of microscope have shown that yes, there are various compartments are present in which various chemicals are present and they are performing the function. So it was introductory, or you can say the definition of the cell, where you can write many things. So after looking at the definition or the introduction, we have to study about which are the different organisms which are present on the planet containing the cell. So there are mainly 2 types of organisms on the planet you can find. One organism, I will wipe out this. Okay, one organism is unicellular while another type of organisms are multicellular. So unicellular and multicellular, the name indicates or telling us what it means actually. Unicellular means the organism which contain only single cell, whereas the multicellular organism consists many different types of cell. Maybe 4 cell, 400 cell, 4000 cell, 4 million cell or 4 billion cell can be present in multicellular organisms depending on the size of the organism. We are the human being are the example of multicellular organism, whereas unicellular organisms are of different types such as amoeba is there, yeast is there, which are only unicellular. You will find these types of organisms which are unicellular. These unicellular organisms perform locomotion with the help of flagella or cilia which are present on the surface on them. Multicellular organisms also contain flagella or cilia, but not all cells shows presence of flagella or cilia. Please remember this. And not all unicellular organisms shows flagella or cilia. So don't get confused. Yes, flagella or cilia are present in both cases, but not all types of cells shows presence of flagella or cilia. The question can be designed on this concept. So please remember this. Human being can be example multicellular organism. Plant can be the example of the multicellular organism, because you can see the leaf contain different types of cell, roots contain different types of cell, flower contain different types of cell. All these different types of cell come together to create create plant. But the main highlighting point why I am discussing this, you will notice that unicellular organism can be differentiated between two different categories. They can be prokaryotic or they can be eukaryotic. Means unicellular organism is there. It may be prokaryotic or it may be eukaryotic. So we can add another example, that is bacteria here. Okay, not compulsory unicellular organisms are bacteria only. Yeast is unicellular but it is eukaryote. Bacteria is unicellular but it is prokaryote. So you can find prokaryotic and eukaryotic different types in unicellular category. But multicellular organisms shows only eukaryotic types of cells only. Okay, are you getting my point? Eukaryotic cells are present in multicellular type, whereas unicellular shows prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic type of cell. So it is our duty to find out the differences which are between eukaryote and prokaryote. So the next point of our discussion is difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So friends, I have written a point here, that is prokaryote and eukaryote. The first point to discuss here is always with respect to the size of this prokaryote and eukaryote. Why I am saying this? Because the size plays very important role. The prokaryotic cell always shows the size ranging between 4 micrometer to 6 micrometer. Some prokaryotic cell or bacteria shows 2 micrometer size only, whereas eukaryotic cell can be ranging from 400 micrometer up to the 750 micrometer. I have noticed many students are confused in terminology of micrometer. If you have any problem with the understanding of micrometer, feel free to comment. I will make another video to make you understand about the difference in micrometer, millimeter, nanometer and picometer in a detailed manner. So here just remember that 400 to 750 micrometer size and 4 to 6 micrometer size, the difference is very huge. So you have to remember that size of the prokaryote are very small and size of the eukaryote comparative to the prokaryote are very large. Another different interesting point with respect to the competitive exam is that If the prokaryotic cell contain flagella, if the prokaryotic cell contain flagella, as in the photograph I have presented that the bacterial cell contain flagella, everyone know the function of flagella. Flagella are something used by the bacteria for the locomotion from one region to another region for movement. These flagella are used by the bacteria. But the flagella are made up of protein which is known as flagellin. Don't forget this, always remember this. Flagella in bacteria or flagella in prokaryote made up of flagellin type of protein, whereas the flagella in case of eukaryotes are made up of tubulin type of protein. So you must have understood the difference. You have to remember the highlighting point which I am talking in this lecture. So flagella is present in both cases but remember, not all cell contain flagella. Not all bacteria shows flagella, not all eukaryotic cell shows flagella. But yes, if cell contain flagella in bacteria, it is made up of flagellin. If cell of eukaryote cell contain flagella, it will be made up of tubulin only. Tubulin structure is given to study for MSc level student, but FYBSc or SYBSc student should know that tubulin is present made up of flagella. Okay, the next point is cell division. You have to remember this because I am highlighting the point which generally student avoid, and these points are generally highlighting point for exam point of view. Cell division in prokaryotic cell or cell division in bacteria is generally takes place by binary fission. Binary fission means what? One cell is getting somewhat changes in the shape and finally it breaks down into two cells. This is binary fission. But eukaryotic cell do not show binary fission. The cell division in eukaryotic cell is always of two types, that is mitosis and meiosis. The eukaryotic cell shows cell division either by mitosis or meiosis type of cell division. Mitosis cell division and meiosis cell division have differences in stages. So if you want to study about the mitosis or meiosis, comment on the below the video. If you want to know about mitosis and meiosis difference, feel free to comment. I will create another video on the topic. So just remember here that mitosis and meiosis are the two types of cell division which are present in eukaryotic cell only, whereas binary fission is type of cell division which is present in prokaryotic cell only. These are the major highlighting points. You should never forget these points because questions are based on these points only. The remaining points are very easy. Which are these points? The organelle or compartment which are present inside the cell are generally absent in case of prokaryotes. Means prokaryotic cell do not show any kind of cell organelle. Which type of cell organelle? Golgi complex is there, endoplasmic reticulum, lysosome, peroxisome. These types of cell organelles are absent in prokaryotic cell. Remember this. And eukaryotic cell shows presence of all the organelles. If it is plant cell, it will show mitochondria, chloroplast, Golgi complex, peroxisome, endoplasmic reticulum, lysosome. But if it is animal cell, the chloroplast will be absent, peroxisome will be absent. So whatever I am trying to tell you here is very important, that Golgi complex or endoplasmic reticulum are the cell organelles which are present in eukaryotic cell, but these organelles are absent in prokaryotic cell. You have to remember this point. Another important point here is that I will wipe out this. Another important point is that, which is very necessary to discuss here, that the prokaryotic cell do not show nucleus. prokaryotic cell do not show any particular nucleus as such, but eukaryotic cell, yes, presence of nucleus is there. Many students get confused. Absence of nucleus does not mean that absence of genetic material, that is DNA. DNA is present in both cases. DNA is present here also and DNA is present here also. But the structure of the DNA or structural arrangement of the DNA can be said is different in prokaryote and eukaryote. Please remember this. Bacterial DNA is circular. One second. Bacterial DNA is circular in nature. Whereas, why I am saying bacterial DNA? Because bacteria are included in prokaryote. And eukaryotic cell is a linear. I am presenting the photograph on the screen where you will find the prokaryotic cell shows the chromosome which is circular like a bangle, and eukaryotic cell shows the chromosome which is linear. If the chromosome is linear, the DNA will be linear, and chromosome is circular, the DNA will be circular. So remember this point. This is a very interesting question, topic on which many questions can be designed. So bacterial DNA is circular, eukaryotic DNA is linear. I have tried to highlight many important points which are required, but most importantly, many students get confused about the ribosome. Ribosome is not an organelle, but it is a supermolecule or supramolecule which include protein and rRNA. You have to remember that ribosomes are present here also, and ribosomes are present here also. Ribosomes are there, but size or weight of the ribosome are different. In prokaryote, ribosomes are of 70 S. Just remember this. And eukaryote ribosomes are of 80 S of type. So why S is there? If you want to know more about the ribosomes, feel free to comment. I will make another video. So here we have discussed about the prokaryote and eukaryotic cell. Already we have said that the plant are the example of eukaryotes. So the lecture is about the botany, and we are discussing about the chapter which is the structure of plant cell. So which is the member of eukaryotic cells. So let's get a detailed discussion of structure of plant cell. Okay students, I have written the point that is structure of plant cell. So why plant cell is important to study is the first question. Because once you study any particular cell, you can perform research on that cell. Then question is why to do research? The most easy answer to this question is to advancement or betterment of human life as well as for biodiversity conservation. So remember, to study any particular cell, it is very important. Various technologies are required to study this cell. Then the question will be how to study this plant cell. Plant cell can be studied by using the microscope, as simple as compound microscope or as advanced as electron microscope or UV based microscope. So we are going to highlighting the differences or key point which are necessary in exam point of view. The image on the screen is presented to you, in which you will find various different titles are given. So there are various tremendous titles are included in the diagram of the cell structure. We are not going to see about this diagram. We will be discussing about the plant cell from external side to their internal side. So let's get started with the outline of the plant cell. Generally, plant cell are not circular in nature. Please remember this. Animal cell can be circular if you want to draw, but plant cell are never circular. They always be in such hexagonal or somewhat containing angular type of outer line. So why this structure is there is the reason Reason because it contains cell wall and which is made up of cellulose. Please remember this. This cellulose is composition material of the cell wall of the plant cell. Cell wall is present in bacteria also, but it is made up of peptidoglycan. Cell wall is present in fungi also, but it is made up of chitin. Here in plant cell, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. So what is this cellulose? Cellulose are linear fibers which are made up of Please remember this, the question is based on this. These cellulose fibers are made up of 1,4-beta linkage glucose units. Many glucose units come together to create linkage with each other. On the screen I have presented the photograph in which you will find alpha linked glucose molecule and beta linked glucose molecule. If 1,4 alpha linkage is there, it is going to form the starch. If 1,4 beta linkage is there, it is going to form the cellulose. Don't get confused. Just remember 1,4 beta linkage is present in this cellulose, which is the composition material of the cell wall. The cell wall is the outermost layer of the plant cell, which is generally somewhat rigid in nature. On this planet Earth, the most abundant molecule is the cellulose. Anyone will ask, why cellulose only? Because obviously you will find plants are growing everywhere. Each plant contains millions of cells. Each cell contains the cellulose. That's why the cellulose is one of the molecule which is present in outmost quantity or the maximum quantity of molecule cellulose which is present on the planet Earth, because this type of question also asked in the exam. Okay, so it was the outermost layer which is the cellulose. If you go inside, from outside to inside, the second layer which is present which is made up of lipid bilayer, to which we call as a cell or plasma membrane or cell membrane. We have plasma membrane or cell membrane which is present inside to the cell wall. What this plasma membrane do? The plasma membrane acts as a barrier for the solvent such as water. This cell wall shows some pores which are present on it. This cell wall shows presence. These pores are very small, but I am showing in a big shape because to highlight you. This cell wall shows the pores. These pores are known as question is based on this point. Plasmodesmata. I hope you can read. Plasmodesmata are the pores which are present on the cell surface, or you can say the cell wall. These plasmodesmata are the entry point for the external molecule, but the water barrier is always the cell membrane or plasma membrane. Don't forget this. This cell membrane contain various proteins which are involved in signaling function. Signaling means for communication purpose. Cell has to communicate with the other cell which are present surrounding to them. We know that plant are multicellular. It means each cell is surrounded by other cells. Okay, so each cell have to communicate with the other cell. For communication purpose, plasma membrane consists various proteins. These proteins are known as integral membrane proteins. These integral membranes protein are involved in the function of signaling. Just this much we have to remember. In SYBSc, TYBSc or in MSc, you will have detailed study how these integral membrane protein are involved in the signaling. First of all, what is signaling? Don't worry, you will have that syllabus in upcoming classes. So up till here, just remember that the plasma membrane is present inside the cell wall. This plasma membrane acts as a barrier for water mainly and contain integral membrane protein which function in cell signaling. So there are various organelles where are present inside the cell. I am telling you the points which you generally will not be able to find in your textbook or in any reference book. So I am making easy for you to remember this point. This is double layered nucleus and which contain the chromosome. Nucleus is always double layered. So the outer layer is continued in endoplasmic reticulum always. Remember, all these points are interdependent on each other. This is we call it endoplasmic reticulum. And remaining point I will discuss by using this photograph, because I am using only white color, so it will be difficult for you to understand. So remember, the nucleus contain chromosome. This chromosome contain DNA as well as histone protein. And nucleus contain two layers, outer layer and inner layer. The outer layer is continued with the endoplasmic reticulum. Remember this, outer layer of the nucleus is continued with the endoplasmic reticulum. And other organelles are present such as Golgi complex, which is considered as post office of the cell. Why it is called as a post office? Because the protein sorting is taken place inside the Golgi complex. The another organelle is very famous, that is the chloroplast. We have separate chapter for discussion of this chloroplast, so you don't have to worry. The another important organelle is mitochondria. This mitochondria perform the function of respiration, means production of ATP, which is the packet of energy. Without ATP, plant cannot do anything. Not only plant, animal or bacteria or fungi, ATP has to be there. So you will think that bacteria do not contain mitochondria, bacteria do not have chloroplast, then how bacteria will perform ATP or how the bacteria will get ATP? For that, bacteria have separate system. So in master's study, you will have that point, so don't worry about that. This diagram also shows the presence of peroxisome types of organelle, lysosome type of organelle. Each organelle have distinct function. Lysosome are considered as the hydrolytic enzyme containing organelle. Means this lysosome contains such enzymes which are involved in hydrolysis reaction. And peroxisome types of organelles, which are generally you will find present in plant cell and perform the reaction which are involved in photorespiration purpose also and other physiological purpose. So there are various organelles which are presented on the screen. We will find to easy remembering these organelles by studying the function of these organelles. So I think I have provided you sufficient information about the structure of plant cell. We have discussed many points. Watch this video again, so you will find the information which is given in this video get permanent into your brain. So with this I will stop here. I would request you to like video and subscribe this channel. We will meet in the next part with the new chapter and new concept. Thank you.